I'm live. So we'll wait for some people to come on. I wish the sun weren't shining on me like that. We'll see when somebody shows up here. I don't know how to adjust the sun. Okay, so this live Q&A is for any topic. My videos. Hi, Roxana. My videos are on a variety of topics on my channel. And of course, my viewers watch me for those topics. And so because there's a variety, why not just have a live Q&A about the variety? So whatever people want to ask about. Hi, Electric Beauty. Welcome. So go ahead. Anybody who has questions about anything, we can talk about them. I was just making some videos on my channel, and I have a couple more to maybe one or two more to make. I might do it today or I might not, but we'll see how this goes. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Duality, light and darkness. Why many say darkness does not exist, but only love and light. That is like literally the best question ever. And a question that I think about all the time and look into this topic because I want to know the answer. All right, so the answer has come in a variety of ways. I'm going to share with you that I did a hypnotherapy session with a client a few months ago, and her soul was speaking through her and saying there is no evil. And the darkness that we have comes from our own mind or psyche, our own creations here on the planet. Well, how can I explain? When you go to the higher levels of like the God level and you understand that what may be perceived as darkness, that we perceive as darkness, there's a purpose for it, and it's pushing the light. So it's pushing and causing a catalyst. Hi, Moya. I'm glad you're here. It's like creating a movement, right? So if you are a being of light, primarily more on the light side, and there's darkness infiltrating or coming through, it's going to cause some kind of a reaction and a movement. So it's going to push you into more light or more learning or your courage, your strength, something is going to grow and manifest from that darkness coming in. So it might be being done out of love. So then ultimately there's only love, right? If that is love coming in disguise, we could say that. But also, so it's a really complicated topic. I think that we don't really know the full answer completely. And we do know that there is darkness here on the planet, and it's pretty strong. And a lot of us are here to bring more light, to turn this planet over from darkness to light. And we know that. So then how does darkness not exist? Well, on this planet, it exists within this illusion, within the illusion of Earth. We have duality. We have light and dark. And so we're playing it out. But in actuality, in the reality of the multiverse, is it darkness for real or is it love? So it's kind of a paradox, and supposedly it's true that there's no darkness in reality. Um, Although we do experience it as such. So it's kind of twisted and, you know, convoluted in a way, but it's how we're playing out in this reality. And so, I had an experience with darkness once, and the darkness was so overwhelming that I feared for my life, and I fled a location because I thought somebody wanted to kill me, and it turned out that she was um, doing black magic all night, praying with somebody in a black magic kind of way, against me. So what I was feeling, being flooded with terror, was actually real because she was doing it on purpose. And then I fled this location and escaped the next day. And where I was living, she was a housemate, and it turned out that, actually, interestingly enough, it felt like I was being shot out of a cannon because I had to leave that day, and I was homeless, obviously. And somebody said I could stay with her, but I had to look for a place to live, and I ended up out far from where I was to rent a place, and that's where I met my twin flame, who lived a mile away. So it was like, or his office was a mile away. So um I look back at the darkness that was created to shoot me out of the cannon, to move out 30 minutes. It was far away from the city where I was living. Far means, like, if you're doing highway driving at 60, 65 miles an hour and it's 30 minutes, it's like far, you know what I mean? To move when I was still living in the same area for years, forever. And so it was to meet him. It was to push me into, like, where he lived and meet him. And then another thing that happened was I was supposed to go meet him at an open house. I didn't know he existed, but I had it on my calendar to go and to his open house. And then I ended up not going that day because I suddenly felt like this shyness come over me, and it wasn't the right timing for us, and I didn't know that, but I just was like, "I'm not going to that. I don't even know those people, and I'm not going." So I stayed home that day. That was a Saturday, and then on Monday, I was sitting at a red light, and a car crashed into me from behind and totaled my car, and I hit my head, and I had a very bad concussion. I lost my memory and my language and my speech and my movement, and I was numb from the waist up. It was a very bad concussion, and I ended up landing in his office. He anyway. So you can look back at that driver crashing into me as darkness, because why would somebody, when I'm sitting at a red light, come speeding from behind me and crash me into the car in front of me, and his car from behind, and I bumped into the car in front, and my car was totaled, and I had a concussion, and my son was in the back seat. He was fine. But we can look at that like that's darkness, right? But then it once again, it pushed me to meet him. And so it's like these things kept happening to catapult me into his office, and I was supposed to be there. So when we look at darkness and we think with our logical mind it's darkness, but what is it really doing? What is it really about? It's a catalyst for something, for change, for movement, for action, for growth, for something. So then when we go higher up, we look down at it from God's perspective, or from our own soul's perspective, that was love, right? It's twisted love, but love nonetheless, right? Because it's for our life path, for something we're supposed to do or learn or be or meet someone. So that was a really long answer, but it's an example. These are examples of how darkness can work in our world. So I'm going to read some questions here to see what's going on in the chat. No, I disagree with somebody says black magic only works if you allow it. Believing in it, it will manifest it. Vibrate higher to block black magic. I didn't even believe in it, and it affected my life. So you can not know about it or not think it exists, and it can still affect you. Okay. I agree with you, Roxana, about the false light. There is I'll answer you. I just want to read some more here, see what I'm missing. I will get to you, Daniela, too. So let's finish with the false light that Roxana brings up. False light can be more tricky than pure evil because it's subtle. Gosh, you are so right. We have a massive issue with false light on the planet right now. This, I read somewhere that the CIA, where the money goes, and it's like, national security and spirituality. Like I somewhere, and don't quote me on that if it was the CIA, but somewhere years ago I read where like the most money is funneled through for these agendas, and one of the biggest areas was spirituality, and I was shocked. But then when you learn about it, you realize there's a false light agenda, and we have to be very discerning. I feel like I have woken up this year, 2019, way more to more and more and more and more of the false light agendas, where I was aware of them for so many years. It's like this veil dropped, and I was like, oh my God, half of everything else is also, or 75% of everything else is also the false light. So I would love to hear in the comments if other people have had the same awakening that I have more recently, like this year, seeing even like a bigger veil dropped, to see more clearly that so much in the spiritual world is part of the false light agenda. It really is. It's very grounding to realize that and like drop all these far out belief systems or things that are going on. So yes, the false light is so tricky. That's a huge topic. So people pay attention to the love and light being perpetuated, because really they want to avoid the shadow work. And the shadow work is really trying to see all aspects of yourself clearly, not be in denial about anything, and really healing your wounds to improve yourself as a person, and not spiritually bypass anything, and also not put up with abuse and dysfunction because you're supposed to be spiritual and love everybody. It's time to really get hardcore with your boundaries and saying no to things that you're not in alignment with, but the false light would teach you otherwise. So be very vigilant now. We are moving into a very important time, starting now through 2020, with all of this. So we can talk more about that. All right, let me ask me more questions about that. And I listen to this astrologer, the Leo King. His name is David Palmer, the Leo King on YouTube. He goes by the Leo King on YouTube. And it's just like his last week, this past 2 weeks of his Tuesday deep astrology videos. He puts them out every Tuesday. It's called Deep Astrology. The past couple weeks or 3, he's been talking about this, what I'm talking about, which is this time we're moving into 2020. I would listen to those to get deeper information about the time we're moving into astrologically, to understand that we're in a time of transformation, and that now it is a time to step into your soul mission and not ignore it. All right. Daniela says, hi, Stephanie. Regarding your sessions, are you able to explain connections and their relevance to us via phone or Skype? The sessions are phone. I don't do Skype anymore. It got to be too confusing. If you're in the United States, we do regular phone. If you're anywhere else in the world, we use WhatsApp. If you don't have WhatsApp, you can download it on your phone. And if you don't want to do that, I have a teleconference line that's free that we can use also internationally calling. I have 3 different spiritual connections and it's getting confusing. Yes, we can look into each one. I'm able to tune into your higher self directly during the session. And then the different people that you're connected to, I talk to their higher selves too. And I get overall purpose, meaning, what you're learning, what they're learning, why it's happening, what you need to heal. I do energy healing the whole time to clear the issues and help you move along easily. When I say good, evil, of course, I do not mean the ultimate level of existence. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else. I'm in my heart. Yeah, SK, you have the same initials as I do. I always know. I notice that when I see your initials. I'm in no contact with my twin flame. My heart feels very heavy, filled with loss and grief. How should I cope? Logically, intellectually, I know how to process heartbreak. Okay, this is one of the hardest things ever because I've been there and I literally wanted to die. I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't going to kill myself and I didn't really want to leave my son because I have a son. But I felt like I couldn't cope and kind of like wanted to die, if that makes sense. So I do understand this level of heartbreak and it's too hard to deal with. It's excruciating. How do you, I don't know how to cope with it. That's how bad it is. But what I did was I told God that I was done. I think that my commanding and yelling at God internally, I mean, I was crying and I was saying, I'm done. I can't do this life anymore. I'm only going to do um, my survival, take care of my child, and do my client sessions with clients so that I can like help them and survive and make money. Like I was like, I'm not doing anything else. I'm not writing my books, videos, anything I feel like I'm supposed to do in the world. I'm not putting any effort. I'm done. I'm giving up on my life. Basically, I was telling God I'm giving up on my whole life. So I was basically surrendering completely. And what happened by doing that was I was like rescued spiritually. I guess my soul or God or my guides or whoever was like, we can't lose her. Like she can't just check out of this life. So we're going to help rescue her and lift her back up. And I woke up the next morning a fully changed person, healed with love and joy and excitement and exuberance for life again. Now, I'm not saying that like the only one time I cried from the depths of my soul, it happened. One time, yes, but had I cried from the depths of my soul before? Yes, for many years, over many things. And my twin, I have 2 twins, so I had to go through it twice, same as excruciating both times. So I can't say what you can do to cope with it. As you know, you said you logically and intellectually know how to process heartbreak, but this pain is so hard in the heart, and I know. And so giving it up, like my crying and yelling at God was so strong, severe, sincere, and I was literally giving up, and that's called surrender. So when you surrender to it and you get to that breaking point where you can't have that much pain anymore, ask for help from God, angels, your soul, your higher self, just like it's a true fight for your life, and just pray and ask from the depths of your soul because you can't take it anymore. That's what I would do. I would turn to God and the spiritual forces to help you, because we know it's humanly not even it's not possible to know how to cope with that much pain. Because I know I've been there. Yeah, I hope that helps. I mean, prayer, begging, I don't know what else to say. So if your twin astrally projects to you, they're not usually aware of it. If they do it on purpose, they're aware, but they're not usually aware of that. So somebody's saying, hi Frida. She's saying, I met my twin 4 years ago and no contact since. How do you know if it's not an illusion and if it's really your twin or if it's all in your head? Well, I mean, you can't really make up this kind of connection with somebody. It makes you feel like you're crazy, but if you're thinking that way, but about that person all the time and you're not sure, but it's not an illusion. It just is. If you can't get them out of your mind and they're with you all the time, it's probably your twin flame. Yeah, I know, SK, I know. Please pray to God and your angels and your soul to help you to take it away. Also, maybe you can have a session with me because I can help clear that. People get a lot of relief in from the energy healing that I do. I don't know how. It's not me, but it comes through me and it really helps people. That's a really good question, Flower Girl. Is it possible that a TF has been taken by darkness? Is there a way to know when a rejection is just for our healing and when they are dealing with darkness? Some of them really are dealing with darkness. Um, if you feel that that's happened, people can invite darkness in unknowingly through drugs, through alcohol, through music, through negative thoughts, negative behaviors, addictions, and that's of their own doing, and their rejection could be, well, in that case it's good that they rejected you because you don't want to be exposed to that. You don't want to be exposed to that darkness. I know even if it's your twin, it's painful to not have connection, but you don't want to be exposed to that darkness. So either way, it's for your healing, but yeah, it's hard if that's happened and you don't know if it's darkness for real that they're dealing with, but it can happen. It can happen. But people can also clear it. People can clear that from their body, from their energy field. Oh, I know the rays of light are pretty cool, right? I didn't do that on purpose. I wouldn't know how to create lighting like that. Um, but it's neat. Um, yeah, surrender from the attachment. Surrender. You're welcome, SK. Sometimes it time is a healer. Yeah, right. Mm. Yes, Ho'oponopono is good. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, Roxana, good point. Yes, Kara. I'm glad you stayed and I understand that journey. It's something very difficult for us to face. Does each twin have free will to choose someone else? Yeah, they do have free will in that case. Even if you have a soul contract, soul agreement to be together in this life, they can use their free will to get off their own path, which is detrimental to both you and your twin, but with people's free will they can make bad choices. We don't have like all free will, but within a certain range, if that makes sense. Our soul won't let us, like, if we're not meant to be, have $10 million in this life, then our soul won't let that happen. But if you're allowed to have enough free will to choose someone else, it's allowed. Um, oh wow, you were given a time frame that you would reunite in 2024. That's amazing. That's no, that's in 4 years, right? 2024 in 4 years. So that's good. We are both with other people now. Yeah. You never know. I would just stay with your knowing and the signs. I just did a video on don't pay attention to the signs, but what I mean now is that you had a direct message to you from spirit that you would reunite in 2024. I and we have multiple um timelines, so stay open, but don't, yeah, it's unpredictable. We don't know what's really going to happen. Don't hang on to one thing, probability. Be open. That might happen, it might not. Might happen, it might not. So that you're not setting yourself up for something really um, sad, or you don't prevent yourself from being with someone else who walks into your life. So I don't want to put a damper on it, but like sometimes we get signs that are not for our highest. I don't know why it happens, but it's weird. But just stay open. It might happen in 4 years. You're still going to be okay no matter what. Super tough. It was like that. Yes. So don't rush. Roxana, you have beautiful advice. Don't rush into making decisions if you're already in a relationship. So stay with what's good and what's working, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Is there a point in existence where the same soul aspect thing is an illusion and has been used as a tool to assist development of ascension? That, Moya, is a very deep and good question. Gosh, that is a deep and good question. Oh my God. Gosh, that's a good question. I don't know, Moya. That's so good. That's such a good question. I don't know. Maybe not an illusion, but a natural creation to assist in the evolution of the soul, but not an, I mean, it's an illusion in a way. Okay, so it's an illusion that my twin flame is separate from me because we're actually one. The illusion is the separation, but we're one. We are all one. You are one with your twin. But yeah, it's assisting us, isn't it, as catalyst for massive growth in this lifetime and others, but big, in a big way in this one. Did you have to deal with the pain of your TFs choosing another person? My twin was married when we met, and then he got a divorce after we met. We were never together. We were never romantically involved. We were just friends. But he always chose her and other women besides me. He never chose me. So yes, I had to deal with that pain the entire time. He never chose me. And he always chose other women. And he always shared them with me. Pictures and stories, like I was his best friend, and it was torture. What else? Yeah, it's right, SK. It's a worthiness thing. I mean, it's sometimes you think your twin, or I should speak for myself, is like, what are you doing? But it's the ego getting tickled. Yeah. It's not about, I mean, don't take it as a worthiness issue. It's not that. I mean, I didn't take it as that, but you shouldn't take it like that, because twins get triggered by you. It's intense. They're afraid of such deep feelings. And sometimes I have clients who say, this is so much love that I'm afraid if it doesn't work out, it would be so painful. So I'm not even going to get into it. Like they step back from it because it's so intense. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So people get afraid of that intensity and that love because it's so scary. Because what if you lose it? Then that's devastating. And so never take it as a self-worth issue. But if you are, then you definitely have to work on that. Build yourself back up to the truth of who you really are. And you know how great you are. You have to build that up from within. You have such great advice, Roxana. Thank you so much. Hi Tina. Let's see what you're asking. Is Hi Stephanie. Why is it that I feel my heart is heavy and feels in so much pain, but can't link it to anything? That is, if you're connected to your twin flame, it's probably your twin's pain. That's probably what it is. And you might have been picked it up from someone else. Um, so let's clear that for you. Go ahead and I'm just like clearing it for you energetically. You don't need that. Yes, the intensity is scary. That's why your twin runs away from it a lot of the time. Aren't twins supposed to be best friends? Who else would get you? Oh, I don't think we should say twins are supposed to be anything. Every case is different and unique, but it can feel like such a close connection. And yes, sometimes there are episodes of deep friendship. Yes, but not always. So, Flower Girl, you're talking about your friend who had cancer, who committed suicide, and um, her spirit showed up, and it had been 10 years since she died. You can go ahead and type the rest of your question, because the rest of it is didn't show up. Are we able to manifest anything in this reality, or is there everything pre-planned before we incarnate here, and we're just following a script? It's a little bit of both. A little bit of both, Daniela, because there is a preset script, and then within that, there's some leeway, and within that leeway, we create the multiple parallel realities. So they for every decision we don't make, all the other possibilities are lived out or within reason. And so a lot of it is like following a script. It really is. We're just living it out. And within that, we are manifesting and creating our life from within. We're emanating it. And so it's a little bit of both, if that makes sense. It's weird. Yes, Kara, you're fine with separation until you both heal, which is great. Great. Yeah, I hope I helped you, Tina. Like, I hope that can be cleared for you. Yeah. I think I answered the questions. Yeah. Yeah, Daniela, there's leeway with this plan. Some twins in this life are supposed to come together and some might not. And there's leeway with that for sure. There's free will within what that looks like, how it plays out. Um, Unfortunately, sometimes the free will comes in and messes up the plan a little bit sometimes. Is the TF connection infinite? The paradox of the situation makes me feel like I'm wildly oscillating from being deeply connected to everything to nothing matters, and this will never resolve. Is the TF connection infinite? I believe so. I believe so. Because we're one, and then the oneness is eternal. I believe it's never dying. So we don't know for sure, right? When we don't know everything, but it seems like God is eternal. We are eternal. We're part of that. Our soul is eternal. Our twin is part of our soul. So it goes on and on, like, forever. When we go for past life regression, can you see your past lives in a trance or hypnosis? What is the difference between the two? There's no difference because hypnosis is a trance. So um, I'm a hypnotherapist. I've been a hypnotherapist for about 15 years, and I do past life regression. So yes, when you go under hypnosis, you can enter into another lifetime of yours or many within one session. And I'm not sure what you're trying to ask for in a difference between two because it's one thing. It's hypnosis. Um, let's see what other questions we have. Good advice, Roxana. Unconditional love. I would stay with your boyfriend if you're happy with your boyfriend now, Kara. Okay, what is your understanding of suicide? Do they go to a kind of limbo, lower astral? No, no. They don't go to any lower level of the astral plane, like Dolores Cannon says. No, they go home to where you go home into the light, into the oneness, to God, and they're free, usually, from their suffering. But they might have not learned what they wanted to, and then they come back to do it again if they choose to do that. Okay, is it possible to do a past life hypnosis via Skype or does it have to be in person? For my whole career, I've always said in person only until now. I've done a few on the phone. I did some on Skype. I don't like to use Skype because the the technology, the connection, the sound is not good and I can't hear. It's not a good setup on Skype. However, I found that phone sessions are good. You can lie down, you can put your phone on speakerphone, totally let go. You don't have to be, I don't have to see you. I do the session, and it's not my favorite thing, when you compare in person or phone. But if someone can't find someone near them to go to or really wants to have a session with me, at this point, I would say yes. I would do a phone hypnotherapy session, any kind of hypnotherapy, past life regression, life between lives, hypnotherapy, anything, any kind of hypnosis. But if you can find somebody near you to do hypnotherapy, try that. That would could be better. It's only if somebody really wants to have one with me. SK is asking, were you the runner or chaser in your connections? I'm not sure who you're asking, if you're, having a conversation with somebody there in the chat or if you're asking me. But I was both runner and chaser. I mean, both usually both twins play both parts. Okay, great question, Frida. I have done past life progression that included my twin flame. When that trauma from that life was healed, that really happens? Question mark. Since we're living in many peril. Yes, 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 these healings are real. They are happening across time, all time. Yes. You'd have to be careful not to fall asleep, Daniela, during the session. Yeah, that's okay. I'll wake you up if I can't. I'll be asking for you to respond, and don't worry about that. That's funny. Yeah, I understand, MS. Your question is about hypnosis versus a trance. We don't really call it a trance. I mean, we call it hypnosis. It's not very different. I don't understand why your hypnotherapist is giving those two words a separation. I don't understand why anybody would do that. Hypnosis is hypnosis. A trance, I mean, I don't know. You can be in a trance if you've having a psychotic break. I mean, I don't use the word trance. I just use the word hypnosis. And it doesn't make sense for me to make them separate for hypnotherapy. If you want to call it a trance, it is a trance. Hypnosis is a trance, but I don't like that word because you can be in a trance if you're like psychotic too, right? So we're talking about hypnotic trance, hypnotic trance. It's one thing, hypnotic trance, hypnosis. So I don't know, I don't understand how your therapist could be separating those two words. That doesn't make any sense to me. Hypnotherapy is hypnotherapy. It's one thing. Um, Sorry, but that doesn't make sense to me to say it's not hypnosis, it's a trance. What are you talking about? That doesn't if you're going into a past life, you're going into a past life, visiting it. You're under hypnosis. Um, okay, if someone has Okay, let me read this question from Tina. If someone has been in multiple past lives, is it possible that there can be a blockage or negativity attached to the person in their new life? As I feel I have been in multiple. Yes, yes, yes. So clearing these things now is good and it will clear it for all time. Hi, Rosamund. Hi. Thanks for saying hi. So yes, it's possible that things are carried over into lifetimes. Yes. All right, let's see. It didn't make sense to me that she would get stuck somewhere because of suicide. Yeah, no. Oh, it seems like she's completely gone now. It was very healing for me when she showed up. Yeah, so souls on the other side can come and visit and be very close, and then they can go far away because they're doing other things. They may have reincarnated somewhere or be doing work. They can come back, but if they really feel like they're gone, yeah, they might be busy right now. But you can call her back and maybe she can come back sometime too. I don't know if she has to be gone forever. Okay. Do you think, Susie's saying, do you think it's divinely orchestrated for one of the twins to do and say things that cause the other twin to leave for one or both of their healing? Yes. The twin, the higher self guides that, orchestrates that. And yes, sometimes a twin is like guided away from one twin because their higher self is making them do that because the other twin needs some kind of healing to go through that. Yes, definitely that happens all the time. SK answered that too and correctly. Okay, Stephanie, during quiet time, this is from Moya. During quiet time, meditation and the experience is deepening, and then suddenly there's a shift to tears and crying. Yeah, that happens because this oneness. I think maybe you're asking if there's this connection deepening with your twin, or maybe not. But why is this tears and crying happening? This is probably, it could be tears of connectivity and oneness and God and love, or it could be releasing old pain and trauma and suffering too. So it's a release, a relief. I'm not really sure. I'm just guessing for possible reasons. How you Rosamund is asking how your twin flame can act as a guide. Yeah, I mean, they're always going to be doing that because it's your own soul. So your soul will guide you, but it come from the twin flame aspect. It's just that's part of being a twin flame is you have that part of you as a guide. Okay, so yeah, what if it feels abusive? Yeah, definitely, it can feel abusive. Twins can be abusive. People say your twin flame could never treat you badly. I don't understand where these people are getting their information. Of course, your twin flame can be an abusive person or do things to you that feel abusive. Yeah, it's going to feel super intense coming from your twin, more intense than anybody else on the planet. It's going to feel worse. And this is for you to really learn the truth about yourself, that to come into your own self-love and healing and wholeness and not stand up for that or allow that and create boundaries for yourself. So I know it's painful and it can feel abusive or it can be abusive. It can be. Frida, yeah, I think I did understand it the first time. It does, yes, it does heal and affect. How does it affect the other parallel lives? It affects them. Um, they all affect each other. And yes, if there's healing, it's going to be across parallel lives. Can a TF also be narcissistic or have those tendencies? Yes, many twin flames are narcissists and can have narcissistic traits. I don't understand why, but people comment on videos and stuff that your twin flames cannot be narcissistic. Nothing is further from the truth. Plenty of twin flames have narcissistic personality disorder. Plenty. A lot of them do. It's very weird, Daniela. The twins' higher self is with you, and yet they're in a body, and they're very different. The twin flame person is very different from their higher self. Very confusing, but yes, their higher self can be with you a lot in dreams and stuff. It's like a spirit guide or something. But then the person themselves can act so differently. GE is saying, hello, hi, where are you from? I am from Washington, D.C., and right now I live outside of Washington, D.C. in Fairfax, Virginia, Northern Virginia. It's a 30-minute drive to D.C. And it's a beautiful residential neighborhood where I live. What does it mean? Oh my goodness. I don't know. Fu bio. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. What does it mean if whenever my twin and I try to reunite, bad things happen? Like my twin's parents died a few after she tried to reach out to me. I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to be there for each other when bad things happen and it just turns out that you reunite and then the bad thing happens, but you were supposed to be connected to help each other through that. I don't think it's darkness infiltrating the connection, although that can happen. Darkness can interfere in these connections. Unfortunately, I believe that's true. Can your twins higher self visit us in dreams, even if they're alive? Oh, Yes, all the time. Yes, always. Your twin's higher self is going to always be coming into your dreams and with you all the time. Yes, yes. What time is it? My time, 4:29 East Coast, Washington D.C., East Coast, USA. 4:29 p.m. The spirit ancestral guide is sweeter, not moody. Yes, so true. Yes, Roxana, the twin flame and at the soul level and the twin flame personality level, very different. Are twin flames protected by God? I would say yes, but I think that there's some darkness on the planet. I don't know. I mean, I've heard that there might be some infiltration and that's not the right word, interference. So we are in a time on this time of Earth that we're clearing that. Okay, we're really clearing up the darkness and we're moving into a time of light. So it's like the culmination of how darkness can manifest and interfere with twin flames. But we're moving on to the other side of not learning through that type of polarity anymore. We're finding our way toward learning through higher vibrations and light more as we move forward. And so we are all living in a time right now where more darkness manifests on its way out. But I do believe we're all protected by God overall in general. But there's a lot of free will on the planet. I mean, to a certain degree, not total. My twin's higher self is sweeter than him. That's what somebody wrote, and that's true in my case too. They're like totally different personalities completely. What country is your city? My country is the United States, Washington D.C., United States. Yeah, I don't know that language. It looks like Dutch or something. I don't know. Do you think Oh, do you think our twin flame higher self can also start to come through another person? Probably that can happen. Probably. Yes, an existing partner. Yes, it does happen. I've heard a lot of cases of that. Learning to love a narcissist from a distance. I would say don't interact. Once you really find out they're a narcissist and it causes trouble in your life and it's abusive, I would say love them from afar. I wouldn't keep I wouldn't stay in an abusive situation or chaotic or where there's turmoil or sadness. I would try to get away from that. Yes, Roxana, twin flame or not. We are um we are God, protected by God, loved by God, part of God. We are God. Yes, that's interesting. He's channeled through one of your coworkers. Yes, absolutely. This can happen. So I don't know, Dan Olson, if you know English, but I don't read whatever that language is. I'm sorry. Not all twin flames are incarnated. Correct. Yes, everybody's hungry for good information. I hope I provided because, well, if I don't, then don't listen to me. Right? If it doesn't resonate. Yes, they can approach us through others, even when they are incarnated, too. Correct. Correct. Everybody has such excellent questions. Thank you. You're all very deep, very wise, and you're bringing up topics that are complicated, which is good because we need to investigate these things together to find truth. What is the temperature? Anna, you're asking cute questions. I'm looking on my phone right now for the temperature. It's 46 degrees sunny right now. Fairfax, can you see that? That's my weather. It's 43. Well, it feels like 37, it says. So it's pretty cool, cold. Fahrenheit. This is Fahrenheit. And sunny. And the sun starts to go down around this time. I mean, yeah, I can see the sun actually going down over here. It's 4:35, so um it's going to be dark soon, like probably within an hour, 45 minutes or half an hour or something. Okay, let's see. Interesting point, Rosamund. Is so that could be a twin flame contact slash union template to also involve another person. I guess you're talking about the template. I don't know about that. We can have, oh, contract. I understand what you're saying. I don't know. Twin, I'm not sure. We're gonna be with our twin flame or a soulmate, and I don't know about overlaying one kind of contract over onto another person. I don't know about that. The oneness of life is getting closer. Yes, Moya. Yes. Yes. Isn't it? Isn't it? It's so beautiful, the experience of this life. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate that. It's I've been on for 57 minutes, and maybe we'll go up to like an hour if there are some more good questions coming in, I'll answer them. I made a video today. I have one more on my list about twin flames. I don't think I'll do it today. Do all twin flame divine feminines go through the dark night of the soul and Kundalini awakening? I would say so. The Kundalini awakening is more, specifically the Kundalini energy opening up in the sacrum and then rising up through the Shushumna, through the body, up and out the crown. So you're awakening your life force energy through the body. And I would say that maybe that's not happening to everybody, but I would say that the dark night of the soul typically does happen to all twin flames, male and female, masculine and feminine. Very good question. Mm. See how it's getting dark here? It's getting darker. Any other questions? Yeah, there's really no hope of union with a twin who's a narcissist. Um, you know, in a you don't hear of any narcissists healing, and you hear about them getting worse as they get older throughout their lifetime, and that's what I've witnessed. The rarest occasion I could imagine that would happen is somebody having like a near death experience, mm, and coming out of it a completely changed person, but it's so rare. I would say no, that usually a narcissist will not heal, and you should never be with a narcissist. Run away, get away, get away from. Sorry to be so blunt, but I want you to be happy and healthy and not near a narcissist, even if it's your twin. Okay, Daniela, you're in the same time zone. Yay. Have I been to Miami? Yes, I've visited Miami, I think once, maybe. When you're suffering, does your twin also feel something? Sometimes, yes, but not every time. I know, I don't like the time change either. Thank you so much, healing moments. Thank you. Can you have a dark night of the soul before you meet your twin? Yes, I had several, like years of dark nights before I ever met my twin flame. Absolutely, you can. So did my twin, I think, or both of them. I have two. It's weird, I know. Dan is writing things, and who knows? He might be like writing obscene things. We'll never know, will we? Denmark. I think it's Danish. I don't even know. Um, we've been doing this for 1 hour. If I'm having vision of my twin, does he have them of me? Probably. And can he feel me? Yeah, probably. Probably. Are a lot of twin flames from abusive backgrounds? Yes, because we're healing for the collective. We take on like a large quantity to heal. And so, yes, twin flames are from abusive backgrounds a lot of the time. Home with J1, you're on track. Oh, yeah, I know, right? Oh my gosh, you're laughing about it. So that's good. Am I on Instagram? I'm on Instagram as Stephanie Kraft Energy Healer. One word, Stephanie Kraft Energy Healer. I don't post that much, but you can find me on there and follow me. I have a Facebook page called Healing Arts with Stephanie Kraft. I post a little bit on there and my events and things. Um, if you get rejected, could it be karma from past life? How can you tell? I wouldn't call it karma, but I would call it something you still need to learn. Something you still need to learn to cope with, deal with, handle, heal. Flower Girl, watch my last video on twin flames. Not my last one. I just posted one today. The one before that about rejection. It's called Facing the Rejection is the Ultimate Liberation. And that's where I talk about that. But oh, thank you, Moya. I'm so glad you translated that for us. Thank you so, so much. And thank you. Um, so Flower Girl, it's not rejection. Or I'm sorry, it's not karma from a past life. It's learning and growth and evolution of your soul. And we do it to each other. Twin flames do it to each other because we need to learn how to be on our own, be whole, be complete, be strong and not codependent. It's a learning we want to achieve. Do I know Brendan Gallagher? I don't think so. I don't know why that name sounds familiar, but I don't think I know who that is. Are you familiar with depersonalization disorder? Depersonalization. I forget what that is. I I'm not sure I know. I know I don't know what that is, but if you remind me of it in a sentence or two, it might trigger my memory of having heard about it before and understanding it. Everything is like a dream. Yes, I have heard about it and thank you for explaining. Yes, I've heard about that. Mm, that's difficult. I don't know how to deal with that with somebody who feels like that. How do you know if your twin flame feels the same connection? Feels the connection. I mean, you can tell sometimes by the look in their eyes or like how nervous they are around you or scared or yeah, no, I don't know that hockey player. I don't know, Brendan. Is it the same as dissociative disorder? Not really. When your twin flame doesn't love you. Please watch my video called Katrina. Watch my video called Facing the Rejection is the Ultimate Liberation. I just posted it a couple days ago. Yeah. It could be another name. No, I don't know if that's the same thing. It could be, but Okay, you're saying it's the same thing, dissociative. Yeah. That's an avoidance of a dissociative or depersonalization is from severe trauma and and dissociating and then not being able to get back into the body or the authentic self and be willing to face that trauma. So it's a dissociated state that needs therapy with a person who knows how to um, heal that dissociative disorder. So I wouldn't be somebody, of course, to do that, but they would need to find somebody. They might want to do EMDR to work on some trauma, and then other forms of therapy to really work through some of the trauma to get back to themselves. And it's not part of this journey, but there are some people on this journey who have that much trauma who are somewhat dissociative sometimes. True. I think we don't have any control over the process. Really, yes, nervous, scared, eye gaze. This is going to tell you. You can feel it if they feel there's a connection if you're in their presence, usually. It's a way of removing yourself. Yeah, when the trauma is occurring and then it becomes habitualized. Yes, this is what habitualized. That's what happens. And witnessed it in people that I've witnessed people dissociate in the moment. I've witnessed it several times with people, you know. Maybe it's about those teachings that promote enlightenment through complete detachment. No, no, no. It's not about enlightenment. No, it's not. It's from trauma. Yeah, it's a dissociation. I've seen that. Compartmentalization. It's it's something like that. Do you like Donald Trump? Anna's asking random questions today to keep me on my toes. I can't answer that question because uh, we don't want to. We have a problem in the United States with people being divided, and I don't want to participate in the division. So I'm not participating in that here. Okay, well, I think it's probably time to say goodbye. It's been an hour and about 8 minutes, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with all of you. You are asking extremely beautiful, deep, poignant questions, and I love you all. Thank you. Thank you, Moya. I appreciate that, and you're welcome. Yeah, it is scary when they dissociate. Thank you so much. Okay. Have a beautiful night or day wherever you are right now, and thanks for joining me today. Many blessings, much love, and I will see you again soon. Bye. You're welcome. Bye bye.